Good evening and welcome to the stream. I'm Surf Dude, streaming from South Africa. And a very warm welcome to everyone. Thank you for supporting me. And today we're going to look at a bit of Python programming with data science, which is processing data. And before we get into explaining exactly what the code does, I'm going to take you through some simple aspects of creating a Python code. So let's switch to our code screen. This, you can see, is Visual Studio Code, a pretty cool coding interface. And you can see the parts that it's composed of. And working with data science, the first concept is a list. This here is a list, and a list could be, this is Indian cuisine. You can see butter chicken, a price, a portion size, how strong the curry is, and a sales price, a sales start and end date, and then the picture associated with it, and some notes. You can see here is the titles of the list. A list is simply a collection of information like a shopping list. So that's concept number one. And concept number two is, you can see here's the beginning and the end of the list. Each of these lines is an entry in the list, a separate entry in the list. So this restaurant has got 5 things on the menu. And let's have a look at concept. Let's first finish this concept. You can see here, text has got semicolons. The data is separated by commas. And price is just as it is. I must check that my music list is loaded. Just excuse me for a moment. Otherwise we're only going to hear one song in the background. Okay, there we go. The list is loaded. So let's get back to the code. So you can be free to add more lines to this for more menu options. And also, if you wanted to put in another field, can't think of one offhand, but if you wanted to have something that contains nuts, you could add a comma and then contains nuts, and then you would have to add an option for each of those. And notice every line gets a comma, Python is quite particular about the layout of things. Let's just create a mistake here. And let's start this up. Doesn't? Ah, yes, here. You can see there's a problem because we've left the comma out telling it that there's a new line. So let's put that back in again. And start running it. And there we go. Our code has run successfully. Then concept number 2 is Python modules. Python modules make it very, very much easier to do things. This is a Python module for doing comma delimited files, and it makes it very easy for Python to be able to read and write files like that. If modules like this did not exist, there would be a whole lot of extra code to create the effect that the module does. So it basically saves a lot of time, and for Python there are probably hundreds of thousands of modules for data science, for AI, for gaming, for very many things. Then let's go, and you notice a start and an end, and every one of these has a start and an end. Let's go to this portion over here. You can see we do get options and explanations of things. So slashes in Python can mean several things. So a safe way of accessing a Windows drive is to put double slashes in, and then Python will know that it's not a slash to format the text or to do something special. This we write to the CSV file, and we have a new line. We don't want everything on the same line. Every item has a new line. And this is, we are pointing to the file and giving it some instructions. Then we're using the CSV module over there. You can see it's highlighted to actually write the file, and then the file name is obtained from there, and it consists of all of that. And you can see we write a row with the column names. So if you wanted to change them, you could change the column names. And then we have items in the menu. The menu is this over here. We have 5 items, so we're going to have 5 items there, and we're going to step item 1, item 2, item 3, item 4, item 5, and each time we're going to write a row of that particular item. So this line here is going to write the column names, and then we're going to start with item 1, item 2, item 3, and so on. And what we can do in this is put in a comment. Comments are very helpful. You can see we have lost the functionality of the CSV import, module import. We're just going to put in some comments so it's easier to understand. And there we have comments. Let's say menu, and we're going to be here. We're going to say right column, and if I would just type the right thing, or let's not say column, let's say header. Let's rather call it a line. And in here we're going to say right and there's our code. Let's save it. You can see unsaved, and we're going to save it. There, it's saved. And let's look at our menu CSV. There we go, and you can see everything is nicely aligned with commas and so on. So that is the very first lesson of data science. Now we're going to get a bit more complex. Here we already have some comments. Comments are shown by the hash. And we have this for reading now the menu file, and we have these two for processing the picture. What we want to do is we are using our data that we have, and we want on the picture to have the food name, the price, and the sales price if it's applicable, and we want those pictures to be in a slide show, and the restaurant name will be at the top. These two are picture modules of Python, and that's called pillow. Tinker, and I have a little bug bugging me. And then we have date time, because we need to know when the sales start and end. And here, because there's a sales start date and a sales end date in the CSV file, start date and end date. We have to check the current date and see if the sale has started or ended, or if there's no sale. So what we do is this creates a function, and you can use this function many times and from many parts of the application. What the function does is it takes the price from the CSV file, the sales price, the start date, the end date, and the currency. Then we get the current time from the machine that I'm on, and that is a date time function now. And then we process the start and end dates. We just put it into a format that date time can understand properly, So we are stripping the time from that, and year, month, day, hour, minute, year, month, day, hour, minute, and the place in the CSV where it's getting the start is that sale start, sale end, and then we check against the sale start time. If the local time is greater than the sale start time or equal to, and smaller than or equal to the sale end time, and if it is so, we're going to return the sales price, otherwise we're just going to return the normal price. You can see here we have a Python format of expressing year, month, day, hour and minutes. Here also we have this is a formatted text, so it's going to print that, it's going to print that, it's going to pick these brackets so that it's a variable, so it's going to pick the currency variable, and then it's going to pick either the sales price or the normal price, and you can see price colon, and then 2F, I think it's the double cents, so $20.20 or 20 rands and 20 cents. I'll have to check up on that. Then this is a list. We're opening our menu CSV file, we're reading it, and then we have to think now about our picture. So let's add a comment here. And here we have the picture. Okay, we're going to take the picture and we're going to put the food name and the price on top. We have a geometry. Let's just change this a bit. And improve my English there a bit. So here we're going to create a label to display the restaurant name. That's going to be on top, and TK is Tkinter, and it provides classes which allow the display, positioning and control of widgets. So basically we're going to have a menu widget, and it's going to have a picture of the food as well as the price and the name of the food. And here we come to the step. This is setting a variable. This here is going through and reading each line in the CSV file. There are 5 lines, 6 if you count the heading. And then here we need a restaurant label, and our route is kind of where we start off from, so that is set there. We're going to have the restaurant name here. We're going to have a font, and you can see the font size there, foreground, the background, the width, and the height is going to be 1 layer of text. Then we need to position it on the photo, so we're going to do that at the top, and I'm not too sure what that full X does, but we will find out. Then we need the label to display the food name, the portion size, and the price or the sales price. So again, we are talking to our route, which is basically the beginning picture area that we're going to work with, and we put in a font a bit smaller the foreground, the background, colors, and how wide we want it to be. Height is 1 line, and then the anchor, not too sure about the anchor. That's how the price will attach to the bottom of the photo, and the label pack is where it's going to be. So this side is going to be on the bottom, and there we have that full X. Now we've got the JPEG pictures that are in this file here. Those. You can see them over here. And we come back to here. Now we need to load the images off the disk and to create photo objects. The difference between an image is a file, but a photo is something that TK can work with. So we're going to create a list of photos. We're going to go through the menu, each line, except the heading, and we're going to pick up the picture or the photo name from that. And if we go back to here, you'll see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not sure. Let's go here. Not sure why there's a 7 over there, but this will open the image and make it a photo that we can actually work with. Here you can see we convert the image to a photo, and then we append it to the photo list. Photo list So photos with the food pictures, the food name, and the food price is going to be what's going to create the slideshow that's going to show on the menu screen. So we again have our menu list there, and we are opening our image, we're converting it to a photo, we're appending it to the photo list. Photo, you can do a lot with it. So here we're going to update the label with the food and portion size. So again, there's a function, and this is for creating the label. So the first item is an index 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the food name. This is, we're pulling this from the menu CSV, the portion size, the price, sales price, and so on. And label config is kind of configuring the label, how it's going to look. So it's text, and it's food name, portion size, then the price, and that is the currency. Our Zuid-Afrikaanse Republic, the South African Rand, but it could be dollars or pounds. And now that we've got the list of pictures, we've got the list of labels, we're going to apply the label onto the picture. So here's another function to do that. The index is the menu items 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're pulling a photo, and we're pulling an image label config, and the image label now is actually an image, and we're going to put that onto the photo. And then here is, we've now got the image label, and this pack is kind of put it on top of whatever else at the top. Fill and expand options. Now we've gone through the list of photos and images. Now we need to start at 0 again, because we want to be at 0 to start the slideshow. And we have now got a label index and an image index, and here we're combining them, as well as here. I must kind of find out, because this might be a bit of a duplicate. Command there, and now this is now creating the slideshow, and we're counting, adding 1, so we're going to start 0, and then we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to go through the photos, and the length of the photos would be 5, because there's 5 photos, for example. And we again are updating this. Must also check, that might be a bit of a duplicate. And then this is telling us after the interval, here's the interval, we're going to show the next image. So we're going to loop back, and then we showed image 1, now we're going to show image 2, and then here's the pause interval, and this is just the function to cycle through the pictures. Now we're going to actually start this slideshow. So you'll see we are again referring to our root, so we're always talking to the same picture. We could have multiple TK pictures on the screen, but we always talking to our single picture there. And after the interval, there's the interval. We're going to run the next image function, that function over there. And that's going to cycle through the pictures. So now let's save this. And we're going to run it. And there you can see the menu screen is working perfectly. What is missing still is that some of the pictures are too big for the viewport, which is basically this area here, and some are too small. But I'm not going to fix that in this session. I will fix it in a subsequent session. And then earlier this week I did a similar Python thing using Chat GPT and the classroom. I am going to go through that and explain how I did that in a later stream. And also, these are my socials: Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch. Thank you for watching, and keep well. Till next time.